Hello and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 10 Wildcard Team Selection from me, Holly Shand. Now this video has come a little bit later this week. I'd lost my voice earlier in the week and I needed a little bit of thinking time on the wildcard. You may have seen a preview of my wildcard team if you tuned into my live stream on Tuesday. Has changed a little bit since then with the news that Jamie Vardy is set to be available once again this weekend after recovering from that knee issue which saw him substituted at half-time in Game Week 9. So there's been plenty to think about, but I'm very excited to show you my team. I'd like to say it's completely locked in, but there is a player flagged, and obviously we've got press conferences coming on Thursday and Friday as well, which could change things. Hope you're enjoying the new look to the channel as well. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you hit notify as well, you'll get notice whenever I'm going live on a stream. Let's get into it. So casting our minds back then to FPL Gameweek 9, I've tried to erase it from my memory because it wasn't a particularly good one for me. Although I did captain Mo Salah, so that was a relief, but you know, the variance was just ridiculous in that game week. So I do feel for anyone that went with Havertz captain. He was so unlucky. He was the only Chelsea player in a starting 11 against Norwich for that 7-0 win who didn't return any FPL points. So really unfortunate for people that went with Havertz. But obviously if you've got him, I would still hang on to him. So 76 points from me, 48 of those from Captain Salah. So that goes to show how poor the rest of my squad was. 28 points from the other 10 players. Got the goalkeeper decision all wrong. In terms of my defence, that goal from Livramento was the only positive in there. Christensen didn't play, so Veltman auto subbed on. In my midfield, I got an assist from Damari Gray, and up front, Antonio got a goal. The rest was blanks, and it was a lot of one-pointers rather than even two-pointers. So obviously I decided to hit the wildcard button. I hit it on Saturday evening because I was already facing quite a lot of issues in my squad. Looking at the defence, Veltman soon could lose his place with Tariq Lamptey returning. Then we had Christensen, who is just not delivering at the moment. Luke Ayling injured. In midfield, Rafinha flagged with an injury. Ismail Assar as well. He was substituted, I think, on 63 minutes, and then Watford went on to score 4 goals. So that doesn't bode well with the new manager, Ranieri. He's obviously not going to be the talisman of the team going forward. And then I had an out-of-form Ronaldo up front as well, who's blanked in 4 games. So there's plenty of reasons for me to hit the wild card. I was quite reassured. After an hour after I did it, I saw that Mark Southerns, the GOAT himself, had also hit his wildcard button, and I see that FPL Matthew from Fantasy Football Hub is also on his wildcard this week. So, you know, some legends of the game playing the wildcard alongside me. So let's get into having a look at how my new wildcard team is going to shape up. Starting with the goalkeepers then, it's exactly the same as it was before. I've not made a change here. So Sanchez is my main keeper with Foster back up on the bench. Obviously, Sanchez has been pretty consistent this season with his clean sheets. Brighton is still ranking very well from a defensive point of view. Of the 4.5 million goalkeepers in the game right now, I do feel like Sanchez is probably still the one to go for. The thing that I do need to improve on, though, is making sure that I play Sanchez every week. Last week, obviously, I gambled. Sanchez had Manchester City. Foster had a much better fixture, but Sanchez racked up the save points and Foster got me a 1-pointer against Everton. So that just goes to show Foster is purely there on my bench if my main goalkeeper, Sanchez in this case, ever misses out for whatever reason. I need to play him every single week. Moving on to my defence now. I was tempted to play 4 at the back and double up on the Chelsea defence, but since I've decided to shoehorn Vardy into my wildcard team, I've had to make cuts elsewhere, so it will be a 3 at the back with my 3 main defenders being Trent, Chilwell and Cancelo. 3 flying fullbacks that should hopefully give me plenty of fantasy points. Obviously Chilwell has been the most impressive over recent games. He scored in his last 3 games. He's also had 7 shots, 5 shots on target. So he's pretty well, and I think he has got that place now from Marcus Alonso, and 2 great fixtures coming up for Chelsea as well, so I'm really excited to have him in my team, and he does seem like a bit of a bargain still. I managed to pick him up at 5.7 million. I've added in Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's punished me since I sold him when he was injured. 16 points in his last 2 games. Obviously Liverpool keeping plenty of clean sheets. They're the best attack in the league right now, and Trent does offer you a route into that attack to go alongside the obligatory captain Salah. He's a little bit of a differential at the moment because a lot of managers sold him like I did when he was injured and haven't got him back yet, so hopefully he can give me a little bit of a boost up the rankings. And then my final pick is Cancelo. He's just been sensational this season, 9 consecutive starts. He better make it 10 this weekend. You can just imagine as soon as I picked him up, Guardiola decides to bench him, but he didn't start in the League Cup midweek, so I think he'll be safe. Underlying numbers, fantastic. Last 4 games, he's had 8 shots, 4 shots on target, 5 chances created, so he can get you goals and assists, and Manchester City's defence are the best defence in the Premier League this season. So for me, seems like an easy pick. In terms of the players on the bench, I've kept Tino Livramento, who is the best defender that started the season at 4 million. He's up to 4.4 now. I've had him since the start. He can get goals and assists. Southampton are keeping clean sheets here and there as well, so I'm very happy to still have with him, and I've gone alongside him with Ben White, currently flagged with an injury, so hopefully that clears up before the deadline. It was pointed out to me by Matthew Jones that Saints and Arsenal's fixtures do rotate pretty nicely to give you a good solid first defender on the bench from one of those. Obviously my main defenders could see some rotation, but these 2 are absolutely nailed on, so that will help going forward as well. Moving on to the midfield then, obviously Mo Salah was the obvious selection. He's just been sensational this season. 7 consecutive games he's scored in now, and the fact that he's top for XG and XA over these periods as well just goes to show how sensational he is. 50 points ahead of any other player. You just need to captain him every single week. Now, I would have loved to have fit Son in here, and it's just so frustrating because he's the player that you can never fit in because he's at that funny price point, but I have managed to get in Phil Foden and Mason Mount. So hopefully they don't see too much rotation. I think Mason Mount is pretty much nailed on, especially with the injuries that Chelsea have got, and Foden is making that false 9 position his own for Manchester City, another player that didn't start in the Carabao Cup in midweek, so that should help his minutes at the weekend as well. Foden's underlying stats are sensational. 12 shots in his last 4 games, all of those coming inside the box, 8 on target. He is going to get goals in this Manchester City side at the moment. And also Mason Mount is posting some decent numbers as well. He's had 5 shots in the box in the last 4. He's not going to score a hat-trick again like he did last weekend, but it's nice to see him getting goals and assists. And I think it's going to help Chelsea in general with Lukaku being out, because granted Lukaku is a world-class player, but it's a bit of a square peg in a round hole at the moment when it comes to this Chelsea attack, who we saw had so much success at the end of last season. They were so fluid, with, Mount doing runs into the box and Havertz and the fullbacks as well. And I think Lukaku sort of stifled all of that, and they're really coming into their own now. Lukaku's out again. So I'll be crossing my fingers that this Lukaku injury goes on for a few more weeks so that Mount's in there. Would have loved to have fitted in Son and Jota as well, but unfortunately no room. So my 4th midfielder is Emil Smith-Rowe. I looked at Rafinha, I looked at Mbomo. I liked Smith-Rowe's underlying stats. So the things that jumped out to me is that he got 30 points in his last 4 game weeks. He's had 9 successful crosses. He's created 1 chance. There just seems to be enough about Smith-Rowe to make me think that I'll take a chance on him at the moment. I could easily switch him to another player down the line. He's probably the most contentious spot in my squad at the moment. I could have chosen Damari Gray as well, who I've owned for a while. Could still do if I really wanted to. I think I've got the funds to achieve that if I wanted to. But Smith-Rowe feels like the one that I'm going to go for at the moment in this squad. And then, unfortunately, I was hoping I'd have a strong 5th midfielder, but sneaking Vardy in means that I need to go with a cheap midfielder, and it's 4.6 million. Douglas Luiz, who jumps out to me, is probably the best value in that price bracket at the moment. Hopefully I won't need to use him very often though. Looking at the forward line then, it's going to be a 3-4-3 with the 3 up top, and Antonio was an easy pick for me. I know West Ham have got some tricky fixtures coming up, but his underlying shots are very good. 15 shots in his last 4 games, 13 of those on target, 4 big chances. He's underperformed over the last 4. And then if we have a look at the other players that we could include, Ivan Toney comes in as well. His underlying stats are very poor, but Brentford have got some fantastic upcoming fixtures and he's on penalties as well. So you would expect that he will be involved in the goals. I didn't want to double up on that Brentford attack. It felt like too much, even with the fixtures. It's a move that I could make in future weeks though if I feel like it. And then the final pick is Jamie Vardy. It looks like he's recovered from that knee issue, so hopefully it was nothing major and he's going to return to the form that we've seen in the opening few weeks of the season. He's basically one of the only forwards posting decent numbers for shots at the moment. So we've seen him had 12 shots in his last 4 games, 6 of those on target, 11 of them inside the box with 3 big chances. Doing well for non-penalty XG as well. Plus, he does have that crucial penalties as well. So I couldn't not include him. And you look at his ownership as well. To go without him, he could really punish you. I don't think we need a big captaincy discussion for this week or probably for the next few weeks. We all know Mo Salah is the player to go for with the armband. It's a no-brainer. You don't need to overthink it. So this is the team then, my Game Week 10 wildcard team. If I do make any further changes, if there's any flags that, scupper my plans, then I will update you with my final team on socials, which you can catch in my link tree in the description below. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to get to that 10,000 subscribers very, very soon. If you've got any questions about your own team, do get in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And check out the latest episode of FPL Hacks, which is now live on the Wolves YouTube channel, looking at the key transfers for this week and who you should buy, hold and sell. Good luck everyone for FPL Game Week 10.